Hi, I was starting the recording just in case. So I was in another channel. How are you today, Val?
I'm doing all right.
I'll give it just a few minutes for everyone else to finish joining us. Hi, Master Jedi. How are you?
I think he's trying to use the force to talk.
He had mentioned that he had a call right at the beginning of this, so I'm sure he's in the middle of that. I just had to make it awkward.
Nope. All right. Well, this is effed up.
Hi,
Good,
Master
we can hear
Jedi.
you.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hey, can you folks hear me?
Yep.
Oh, there we go. All right. Every time this thing picks up different sound cards.
You were just seeing how many times I would say hello to get you to respond to me.
Apparently. No, I was sitting here. I was like, why don't I hear anything at all? And then I go back and, oh, it's not, it doesn't have the right sound card yet again.
Give it another minute or two and then we'll get started.
All right.
I should just make Val go over all the weekly update stuff for a change. You know, they like your voice too, Val.
Lies.
Lies.
Well, I figure we'll go ahead and get started. If you guys can spam AMA if you haven't already in the different channels and in TG for me, I'd appreciate it. Um, so Silver Dust here on behalf of the foundation. I'm just going to go over kind of the weekly update for everyone to give you guys a heads up in case you haven't had a chance to look at it yet. Old business, the Crystal NFT sale and metadata improvements have been passed and they're currently being implemented. There is a Lunar ecosystem preview on the governance site. And we also announced Lunar escrow. So if you guys haven't had a chance to kind of check that out, I recommend it. It's exciting ideas and stuff being implemented. The OTC transaction authorization has passed and is in effect. We have submitted a amendment for it to give a more what I would like to say, steady way of figuring the terms of the OTC price for the token.
Say it's a more accurate way. The way that the way that it was described when we put the lib together was incorrect. It's just not right. And so we found the right way to do it, and the one that takes into account what goes on in the market, essentially, so that people understand like how those things work. When you buy like an NFT, you're buying one token, right? When you buy fungible tokens, and it doesn't really matter which token you own, you're buying lots of them. But the way the pricing algorithm works is each successive token that you buy, let's say you're buying 10 tokens, well, you're going to get an average price of those tokens, but the price actually goes up for each token. And so when you're getting that average price, it's taking all 10 tokens that you're buying and computing the average of those things to give you the price. But under the covers, each token is actually a slightly different value. And so the method we put out there takes those things into account and what's going on in the market as you sell those tokens over the counter. So that's a better way to calculate it all out. And then for the people that were concerned about, well, what happens if there's since it's over the counter, it doesn't necessarily affect the price, what happens afterwards? Well, there's a 4% deposit into the liquidity pool one way or another. And so successive OTC transactions do actually affect the price. So that's how we've baked that system together to make sure that everybody wins.
Perfect.
Sorry
Thank you
to
for that.
interrupt about that.
Oh, no, it's great. That's great. I appreciate it because your explanation is more detailed than what I was going to give. So, we like to give as much information as possible. So I appreciate that. Let's see. As far as the foundation has completed our move from Slack to Discord, it's going to be easier for us to communicate as far as with everybody, advisors and admins, and eventually mods and our social media coordinator and our social media designer to make it easier for everyone to kind of communicate in one place. So that's nice. And then let's see. Facility deal is still in progress. As you guys know, we have implemented the protocol to get our volume boosted. We are working on getting the CMC taken care of, and then we're also going to do a War of the Whales. You guys will have notice for that as well. That way you can have an idea of when we're doing that, so you can participate if you want. And then let's see. The Binance Industry Recovery Fund application has been submitted. Still reviewing those as far as I know, correct, Master Jedi?
I've not seen, heard, nor smelled any news about that fund at all. I have not seen them announce anybody that has it. I've not heard any project announce that they've gotten that money. I'm personally skeptical if that fund even exists. But we submitted to it and we're waiting to hear back. So
Perfect. We did get the Binance MVB. 6 applications submitted. Master Jedi submitted the Lunar Mint and Lunar Escrow under NFT and others section to give us an advantage over anyone who just submits under the DeFi category. So that's exciting. Let's see, as far as the markets go, we're combating the inaccurate information on CMC. So anytime you guys want to do upvotes for positive comments or anything that Lunar Foundation and posts, that's much appreciated. We're working on updating BSC scan and CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko are all ongoing still. New business. We are still looking at market makers. We had a meeting with another one. We're just wanting to get an overall picture of what services they provide, how it benefits, cost analysis, things like that for you guys, making sure that we're with the best possible team we can. So that just requires research at the moment, and it is in progress, but I think we're making good headway. Let's see. We are working on getting the websites cleaned up and get those situated. As I had mentioned earlier, we have some new members to the marketing team. Miski Lunatic is the social media coordinator. He's helping us get posts more frequently, that kind of information out there. And Andre has been designing stuff for us. And now we're just giving them the recognition that they deserve, in my opinion, and appreciation. Let's see. We have completed several of the Lunar tutorials for YouTube, and more are on the way. And we've updated the show vault with new materials, and more of that is also on the way. So lots of stuff. I'll go ahead and hand it over to you, Master Jedi.
yeah, so before I get into dev stuff, a couple things there. So on the Binance MVB 6 application, so last time around when we applied under the DeFi category, and there were 1 million people that applied under DeFi, and there was no way in heck we were going to get in under that scenario. There was like 1 or 2 teams that were shoot, actually, I gotta step out for just a second. We go ahead and jump to questions, and then I'll jump back in here in a moment.
No worries. I've actually got some statistics that Miski provided me for the Shillers. So I was pretty excited. So the Shill Squad has 30 members now. They did over 4,500 likes, comments, and retweets on other Shillers posts. They did over 9,000 shills for January. Miski's going to be spinning the wheel twice during the AMA, which is now, to reward 100,000 Stardust and then 50,000 Stardust. And then you guys win if you're present during the AMA. Let's see. And then if you guys can, those members that are doing that, get on the shield tasks in Telegram as well. Miski said he would be happy to drop the link in the main chat. So when you guys get that done, that would be amazing. Not in main chat. So let me see. Are you spinning away?
You just threw in our video.
Perfect. Oh, perfect. No, that's great. So
Right.
Who won? Look at me.
Sorry about that, folks. I'm back.
Oh, you're fine.
I may have another one of those. It's the unfortunate reality of the time that we pick the AMAs. It's also my kids' bus pickup time, so I had to deal with something real quick, and I might have another call, just briefly. But anyways, on the if we weren't talking about anything else on the MVPs.
We were doing the Schiller stuff while you were gone.
Okay, are you guys done with that, or
almost?
Okay, all right, I'll be quiet.
Let me see. You'll have to tag the next one, Miski. I can't find him in there. Awesome. But I mean, once we get that situated, that would be great. Awesome. You might need to do another spin. I didn't see him in. So, but once we get that done, we'll go ahead and tag. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so we are done with that, I believe. Any more information will be in the main chat for you guys. Go ahead, Master Jedi. Take it away.
Sweet. So anyways, so like, I mean, there were 40, 50 projects or whatever that submitted under that category. And, I love what we're building. I love everything that we're building. I think that there are a lot of other projects that are also trying to build wallets and portfolios. And so like, I know everybody's excited about what we're building, but like, some of the comments elsewhere have pointed out it's not necessarily like our approach to the idea is unique, but the product itself, if you just line it up next to other projects, you have to have that thing that's different in order to be able to get noticed and stand out. And so, but if you look at the MVB5 awards, there was only like one or two companies that got awarded for NFT related stuff. And the category was heavily skewed under DeFi. So, like, when you do these types of things, you have to be strategic about how you're going to get, like, if the goal is to get accepted and to get the money, like, how do you be a big fish in a small pond and not a small fish in a big pond? And so the NFT and other category is our small pond. And so we submitted under, the Lunar ecosystem and everything that we're building, but the showcase and the focus was on mint and escrow. And so hopefully that will get us more visibility. We submitted the ecosystem preview and a number of other things behind the scenes. And for those people that in CMC and whatnot that complain, where's the code? Where's all this other stuff? Or, what are we building? Like, those things take my time too. Those things take effort, energy, and attention to write. Not everything that the dev team writes is code. So so that took a little bit of effort and energy to get out the door. It was like a 7-page form. So multiple paragraphs worth of information. So got that out the door. On the like the BSC scan, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, we have noticed, and we've been trying to deal with two issues. One is that CoinGecko has incorrect information about our supply. And that's skewing some of the data that's coming back, and some of the other parts of the CoinGecko profile are inaccurate. So we're still working with them to get that square. And on CoinMarketCap, there are some adjustments we're trying to make to the profile to get it updated. Our primary concern is that we did a bunch of marketing with them, and the profile that we're on currently doesn't bring any of those holders, any of the people on our watch list, any of the followers over to that process. So we're trying to work with them to get that situation resolved one way or another. CoinMarketCap is not an easy company to work with. One of the things I am noticing through this process is that none of these crypto companies are terribly easy to work with. So we're understand that we're doing the very best that we can in these situations. Some of these companies work off hours from, United States timeframes. Some of them don't respond at all. Just as an example, we submitted our application to get the Telegram verified 3 weeks ago, and we've heard nothing. Their verification system is a bot. Their Telegram support channel is by volunteers, and nobody has answered any of our messages. So, if you guys know anybody over at Telegram that can help us move that process along, please DM me on Telegram and let me know. Otherwise, just understand that we're doing everything we can in these situations. And as with many things in crypto, this stuff takes time. So on to dev team work. So we have finished our contract upgrades code to the ERC 20 and ERC 721 contracts. the main work that we've been doing, and I believe we talked about this at one point elsewhere, is as we move forward with the foundation, we want it to be, and foundation directors, please jump in here if I'm talking out of turn. We want to be more transparent about the funding that's available for the project, the funding that's available for development, where we are with all of those things, and have the budgets for those things out in the open. In order to do that, we have to make changes to the ERC-20 contract to be able to support a separate development wallet for the taxes, so that the taxes are more clearly broken up between development, marketing, operations, and so forth. The challenge that we've run into in that process, and this is a known issue with Solidity contracts, is that the upgrade as we did it erased some, and just to be clear, as I start out with this, we test in other environments before we go to the production contract. So I don't want to like say this, have anybody freak out. We are nowhere near ready to go to production. This is why we test in other environments first. When we ran the upgrade, it zeroed out some of the data in some of the arrays that we use on the contract to track things like how much has been paid in taxes, what the rates are between different taxes, what the whale guards are, and so forth. And I should mention that speaking of the whale guards, one of the things that we have in this new contract is a different, we're tracking exchange wallets in a different way than internal wallets, because some exchanges require different amounts of Lunar in their wallet, and that those amounts can exceed the anti-whale guards that we currently have in place. So we need a way to be able to adjust that process. So we're in the middle of our testing and deployment process, and we're working with our auditor to understand why the data on those arrays in the contract is being erased, and make sure that we are doing our upgrades properly. So like, before anybody freaks out or anything, like, our testing and release process is designed specifically to be able to catch these things, and we are incredibly thorough. If people are like, hey, why is this taking so long? There's a reason why this crap takes so long. There's a reason why the industry doesn't do upgradable contracts. It's because this crap sucks. And so we have to do extra work to make sure that these upgrades go accordingly. Otherwise, we would be doing another contract migration, and you'd be taking out your tokens again. Like, that would suck worse. So the other alternative is we don't pay attention, we don't do testing, we don't go through this process well, and all of a sudden a whole bunch of stuff on the contract is corrupted and your money is locked away forever. So I'm just going to go out on a limb and say I'm pretty sure you guys don't want that happening either. So like, team's doing its job, process is doing what it was designed to do. We're going to iron out those remaining issues with the auditor, and then get the contract deployed there. Along those lines, the 721 contract upgrades are putting everything in place to be able to support the the royalty information that's required from OpenSea to be able to deploy new contracts moving forward. That's going to be a big issue for us with Lunar Mint, and making sure we're supporting the royalty registry and the other features that are required there. So on the contract side, all that stuff is being ironed out. We're getting ready to deploy. We do have a full understanding of the work that needs to get done to get Lunar Mint out the door. At the moment, I know everybody wants to know details on where that's at. We've had to balance the amount of work that we're doing, informing people in other areas, the work that has to get done on the websites, the work that has to get done on CMC articles and the monthly updates and all that other stuff. I'll talk about that in a second. We've had to balance all that stuff out with the like giving you guys the list of everything we're doing to get Mint out the door and actually getting Mint out the door. So I want Mint out the door as soon as possible, and we need the 5 private collectors that we're gonna, or the 5 private creators that we're gonna work with to run their betas. So we're gonna get you that information as soon as we can. Just understand that with limited resources, we have to prioritize. And like the more time I spend informing everybody on every detail, the less time I have to actually do the things I need to do to make that happen. So trying to balance all that out. The code to update the NFT metadata to PowerPoints from staking points is done, and it is awaiting it's going to require a production deployment of the entire Lunar ecosystem in order to complete that. We're looking to have that done this week. And when we do that, we will have a version. This is announcement time. This is exciting for folks. We are going to have a version of the beta app available to LNR holders. So I don't have an exact date on that yet. We'll have an exact date here very shortly, but the beta app's been out for roughly a month now. And the process and the structure will be that the builds will continue to be seen first by crystal holders, and then it will move to essentially what I'm going to consider a staging environment where LNR and NFT holders will be able to access the platform before its official public release. And we're going to stay in that staging environment for a little while because the portfolio app is like not ready for version 2 yet. There's a lot of stuff we have to do in there. In a minute here, I'm going to talk about the ecosystem preview and like the reason it's in the order that it's in and how these things kind of layer together so that you folks get a solid understanding of like how we're thinking about deploying these things and going from there. So we're working on getting the NFT sale scored away. The last major thing that we've been working on among all of that is between the portfolio app and Lunar Escrow and the admin app, the backend systems. Like if you are just listening to this for the first time, by the way, and you may be like, hey, like, why isn't this stuff on the blog or why isn't this stuff in CMC? We have a very detailed roadmap that we call the living roadmap inside the governance portal. So that's at https://governance/lunar.io. When you sign into that, it's going to ask to connect your wallet. Now, I want to be super clear because like I know there are concerns about, scams and people connecting your wallet and whatever. It is not approving any token stuff. Connecting your wallet simply reads your wallet and makes sure that you have LNR in that wallet so that you can have access to that information because this information is available to DAO members only. And once you do that, the login process uses your wallet to digitally sign a message that says, hey, I am who I said I am, let me in. So there's nothing else going on beyond that. I know in the groups, some people got scammed this week from Lunar for Telegram accounts purporting to be Lunar support or like fake migration websites and stuff like that. I got to be crystal clear for everybody. Never, never, ever, 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 ever give anyone your seed phrase ever. Your seed phrase is like the key to your house. Okay, don't give anybody your seed phrase. There are ways to recover your seed phrase if you ever lose it and you're a MetaMask user. I discovered that this week myself. So if you ever need any help with that, we'll post an article about it shortly. But do not ever give away your seed phrase. Make sure you understand the UI dialogues that pop up when you are working in Web3 and just understand that when you're interacting with our systems and you're signing in with your like we're doing that, that's a Web3 identity system, right? That's if you want to be anonymous and log in with only wallets, like that's the future. So there's a reason why the Lunar accounts are a hybrid solution, because we want to be able to work both ways. So hopefully that helps there. So I was mentioning the last thing, between all of these applications, there's a lot of style sheets and theming and like infrastructure code that has to happen in order to maintain Lunar's brand and the style and consistency between all of these products. Right now, they're somewhere in the neighborhood of 7,000. They're called SAS files, SS files, and those help compile the design and theming between all the different apps. There's a lot of duplicates. There's a lot of stuff that maintenance that requires. We've been working on consolidating all of that into one single space that defines the theming for every app moving forward, and makes it significantly easier for us to build out the mint for creators and the escrow backend and all of these other things. So that will be done here very soon and integrated with the rest of the platform. And once that's done, you'll be able to start seeing rapid progress on the other apps that we're building. And so when you're coding these situations, one of the other things and the complaints that we've seen on CMC is, where it doesn't feel like we're moving fast enough, like where's the code, et cetera, et cetera. If you're on the governance forum, we're communicating with you folks where everything's at weekly. So if you're not there, you need to get on there. Like at this point, there's no reason you shouldn't be on the governance platform. You're a DAO member, you want to be informed, that's where you get information. The flip side of that is the coding is like an iceberg, right? The user interface and how you interact with it is and what it looks like is the tip of the iceberg that's above the surface. Everything else underneath that runs everything else is significantly deeper. So just understand that there are going to be periods where you don't get to see progress, and then suddenly there's a ton of progress. So that's just the nature of software development. You guys are involved in a software development project. I'd love to hold your hand, say it's going to be okay, but realistically, that's just how it works. So people that are uncomfortable with that process are just going to have to get comfortable, because they'll be like everything else. There's a quote somewhere that says change happens slowly and then suddenly, and that's just the way it is. So taking a breather for just a second and jumping back into the ecosystem preview. So we've had only about 150 people look at it, which is surprising. We have 40,000 holders. So more of you need to be getting in there and looking at it. If you remember how it's laid out, one of the things that we're going to be doing moving forward that is, I think, really important for the ecosystem is helping you guys understand that, you may think that the logins are no big deal, but we ship that as a product in and of itself. That is the first core product that is integrated with everything. Every single thing that we release is going to be integrated with Lunar accounts. So having the Lunar account structure set up and working against wallets and all of that is critically important. So then moving through that, you saw Mint and you saw the Mint Manager, Mint for creators and Mint for collectors. You saw escrow. Those are things that we are going to be working on the first half of the year to get out the door. Those things are going to have immediate impacts on our ability to diversify the treasury. Diverse treasury is incredibly important to making sure that we survive whatever is thrown at us. All along the way, we'll continue work on the other parts of the ecosystem. And in that document, you'd see that we broke out the Omni wallet from, I'm gonna need to, I'll get this guy call back in a second. I'm gonna finish what I was saying, and I'm gonna stop for a second, let you guys take some questions. I know somebody had their hand up a minute ago. So the Omni wallet is separated from the portfolio app in the system because I want the portfolio or the Omni wallet to be, in other words, I think it's unreasonable for some of the features that we want to ship in the portfolio app to be usable on mobile. I don't think you're going to be sitting on your phone and trying to do like deep due diligence on a crypto token. I don't think you're going to be able to go in and have a clean way to be able to use it as a trading desk and a number of other things. I think that at its core, people are going to expect a solid wallet experience, and that wallet experience needs to be on par with MetaMask and Trust Wallet and those things. And I've seen but MetaMask sucks. I hate it. Trust Wallet sucks. I hate it. The way they pop up and they float instead of like becoming a sidebar and stuff like that, those things are super annoying. So we're gonna fix those things, and we're gonna ship those things. Like Omni Wallet as a core product should be a usable, functional wallet that connects all of your wallets together. So then the portfolio app, the Omni wallet gets dropped into the portfolio app, and then you can do other things, right? You'll be able to do more stuff within the ecosystem. You'll be able to get more information and do more research and all of that. So how we're structuring all of these things is one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. And we're trying to be clear about how that process works. So, very shortly here, you're going to start seeing how all that plays out and how that pulls together as we expand the code base and the applications and the functionality that's available within the Lunar ecosystem. And so in that document, we tried to lay out that thought process for you. These things are in a very specific order for a very specific reason, because each one of these things adds more and more functionality that's available to the ecosystem that we can then combine into our apps. Now, going back to that idea where like, why isn't this shit done already? Oops, why isn't this stuff done already? It tends to be because in crypto and in other places, teams tend to move very, very fast and break a lot of things and not think about things and ship UI that's not well thought out, and that breaks very easily. And I've seen this happen in other places, especially in Web3. We are being more deliberate in our approach. We're building for scale, and we are building for again, you have to do a lot of work in the early stages. It's called going slow to go fast. You have to set things up to be able to engineer the system you want, and then you'll be able to move faster. And so a lot of other people would be like, well, that's not how you get an MVP out the door, and you got to ship things and blah blah blah. I guess we understand that, but you've seen the results of what happens when other teams ship too quickly. You've seen contracts fall apart, and right when we were doing our first contract stuff, we tracked somewhere in the neighborhood of $75 million that just vanished because people had bugs in their contracts and didn't pay attention to what they're doing. That's unacceptable. Those types of things are completely unacceptable to this community, and therefore that means we're going to be more deliberate. We're going to take our time. We're going to release the best quality software. And unfortunately, that takes time. It's not going to, if the Moon Boys are going to be disappointed because everybody just wants a meme coin to shoot off and whatever. We're operating differently. So you're going to start seeing the benefit of that over the next several weeks as we continue to ship more and more code weekly. So if you want to stay in the loop on that, get in the governance forum. To answer some of people's other issues, we are going to go back to, I'm working on articles that summarize what's happened since November. When we transition to the DAO, to go back up on the Lunar blog, to go back up on CMC and a number of other places. So we're going to take these weekly updates and summarize them and turn them into monthly updates and get them up on the website. But like, we're moving very, very quickly, folks. And so if I can say is this, if you don't want to be a month behind everybody else, get in the governance platform. Okay, there's nothing standing in your way from using the value of your LNR and your crystal NFTs to get in and get information. If you want to be a month behind everybody else, then go ahead and wait for the monthly updates. But I wouldn't recommend it. Feel like that's about it for me for now. We'll answer any questions and go from there. So hopefully that was helpful.
It was. Thank you, Master Jedi. Everyone loves it when you go on your rants. It's definitely informative, and we appreciate you explaining it.
No
Why
worries.
it's structured.
Good deal.
Anyone have any questions? I know that someone had, I think it was Scotty, had his hand raised, but I don't see him in the audience anymore. So I believe he's on Telegram quite a bit. So I will
I'll be right
reach out.
back, folks.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him and see if there's something that we can answer for him. Do you guys have anything that you wanted to touch base on before we head out for the day? Oh, I did want to talk to you guys about switching AMAs to the first and third Wednesday of every month, since we do a lot of the weekly updates and everyone seems to be pretty well informed. So I will do an unofficial poll and see what your guys' feelings are on that. Any questions? Going once, going
There's
twice.
one in the AMA questions.
Perfect. Do it.
Which wallet is preferred for Lunar? I'm going to give you my opinion and say you should use a hardware wallet like Ledger or something similar. As for soft wallets like MetaMask or Trust Wallet, I don't think it really matters. They're all kind of in the same line. They're not good. They're not bad. They don't really matter.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to personal preference. I prefer MetaMask over Trust Wallet personally, but I mean, it's what I was used to as well. So, like you said, just preference. Anything else? Thank you for that question, Jaka.
There's nothing else out there.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it. Anyone, like you said, going once, going twice. I don't see anything else popping up. Well, then I will go ahead and end this. Thank you guys so much for your time and joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
See ya.